My dear friend, I am an author. This is my book, Democracy, Panorama of Democracy in Indian Context. And so many books I have written, published. I am not so famous as the Madhukeshwar as any, because who are criticizing against the Modiji are gaining the fame. Whether it may be correct or not correct, but my motto is not to be a famous. My motto to tell the reality of the Indian society, reality of the Gunism of the Islam, and the communism is also allies of the Islamic terrorism. I am talking about the in context of the India or Indian subcontinent, because as you are well aware that the in India or the Indian subcontinent, the terrorism, the Islamic terrorism, then the communism or the communist terrorism are the better half of each others, or the same thing, or the both side of the coins is single coin or the same coin, as both are the terrorist organization. Have you ever seen any communist or any Naxalite people destructed the temples of the destructed the mosque or the churches throughout the India? No and never. You would not find even a single instance that any Naxalite person desecrated any church or mosque. Because in India, Christianity, Islamic terrorism and the communism are on the same part, or are the same part. We can distinguish these three ABC group of the terrorism, because Christianity itself is terrorism. It is another fact that the people who are not living in India and are the Christians, including the European countries and the United States of America, they are not following the real Christianity. It also spreads hate against the non-Christians, because according to the book of the Christianity, that is the Old Testament of the Bible or the New Testament value, in Christianity inhibits that every non-Muslim will not go to hell, will not go to heaven, because he is non-Christian. He is not a Christian. And same ideology in Islam, but the Christians of the other countries are not following the real Christianity, because they are somewhat living this Christianity, and they have abrogated the such violent or the hate spreading verses of the Bible. They are the abstainer of the such type of the verses of the Bible. So the Christian are not so bad as the Muslims. But in India, the Christianity is just slow poisoning, though the Christianity is having full false aspect of the evolution. And all the religion, including the Sanatan Vaidik Dharma, the Manu Smriti, does not follow the real aspect of the evolution. So now we will talk about the Islam and the communism only in Indian subcontinent contest, because in China the communist country are restricting the Islamic Gunism, the hooliganism against those Uyghur Muslims, which are the Turkish Muslim or the came from the Eastern Turkish or the Anatolia. So, my dear friend, I would like to say that in India, communism and the Islam both are the terrorism, and the Communist Party always defended the Islamic Gunism. So this is why no mosque was vandalized by these Naxalite. It is true that the atrocity against the scheduled tribes by the government officials, whether they belong to the center or whether they belong to the state, the atrocity against the scheduled tribes, especially or the villagers or the poor people by the government officials, is rendering the poor people became Naxalite or became terrorists in the cocoon of the communism. So communism, this is responsible. This must be, every officer must be responsible in this contest. But this is not the truth of the Naxalism, because when these pure people or innocent people are being befooled by the communist leaders of the India or the Maowadi parties, there is no difference between the Communist Party and the Naxalite movement in India, because these gentle people or these innocent people, which are the scheduled tribe in India, are being befooled by the Christian missionaries and the communism both. So here the Christian missionaries and the communism also a junk of the mixed terrorism, because India is a soft point or soft target to the Christian missionaries or Islamic terrorists and the communist terrorism due to the stupidity of the Hindus. They never read the Christianity book, that the Bible, and the book of the Judaism, that is Torah. That all the Christianity, book of the Christianity, book of the Islam, that is the Quran, is full of the gunism of the terrorism. Because base of all these books is the book of the Torah, that is the book of the Judaism. And after that, the Old Testament Bible and the New Testament Bible is the root cause of the terrorism in this India. Because when a Hindu convert to the Islam or convert to Christianity, certainly he became anti-national due to the idiotic and the stupidity or stupid ideology of the Christianity and the Islam. So, in India, the main cause of the terrorism is the basic teaching of the Christianity and the Islam, because Islam or the Quran is the copy-paste of the Bible, the Old Testament of Bible or the Judaism, because the tradition of the Khatna or the circumcision comes from the Judaism or the book of the Yahudi, that is the Torah. And this repeated, and the Christianity also influenced by the book of the Judaism, that is the Torah, because the Jesus Christ was a a Jew, born Jew, and after the death of the Jesus Christ, all the people who are the follower, who were the follower of them, or were or are the followers of the Jesus Christ are known as the Christians. And the Quran is the copy post of this book, that is the Bible, Old Testament, the Torah. So all these ideology based on the Judaism, but Islam is more dangerous due to the stupidity of the Islamic followers, that is known as the Muslims, who are not well educated, well thinkers. Even though a civilized or educated Muslim is just like a white paper without any writing, because he is brainwashed due to this Islamic idiotic ideology. And this is why the Communist Party always use the Islamic terrorism or the Muslims for against the Hindu culture, Vedic culture, Sanatan Vaidik culture. Because so many aspects of the Sanatan Vaidik culture too much superior these books of the Christianity, books of the Judaism, and books of the Islamic jurisprudence, that is the Quran. This is why the communist and the Islamic terrorists are the junk or the mixture of the terrorism against the Hindus in this India. We will describe about the Christianity, how dangerous to the society, and how it is the falsehood in another next coming video. But my topic is today only to show that the Islamic terrorism and the communists of the India are alike. Even though in communism, the religion is a opium, more than dangerous to the opium, or religion more toxic than the opium and the wine, any toxicant or in so. But in India, the Communist Party or the communism are with the Christian missionaries and the Islamic terrorism. Islam is the synonymous of the terrorism, but the Christianity, the book of the Christianity or book of the Judaism is not less harmful to the society, because every book which belong to the Christianity, Judaism, or the Christianity, or the every book is hate spreading books. In Judaism, if you are not Jews, then you are not good. In Christianity, if you are not Christian, that you are not good. In Islam, if you are not Muslim, you are not good. But Islam is more dangerous to all these books, because the Christian and Judaism followers, that the Jews, are not following the perfect Christianity or Judaism. They are following the civic sense, and they are annoyed with the stupidity of the Christianity or the book of the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, and the Judaism. Jews also annoyed with the stupidity of the Torah or the Tanakh, the real jurisprudence of the Judaism. But the Islamic people are so brainwashed by the mullahs, Maulvis, and so-called Islamic unscholar, because there is no scholar in Islam. Islam is the synonymous of stupidity. No question arises that there is any intellectual in this Islam. So my dear friend, this is why the communism takes part with the Islamic terrorism in India. And the Islamic terrorism and the communism are the same thing in India, in contrast of the Indian subcontinent. This is why the Communist Party always favor the Jinnah, always favor the Naxalites, because Naxalite is the part of the communism. Communism is also a certified terrorism. The communism of the Russia is not alike in India. Even the China communism is not alike as in India. India, the communism is the total terrorism. Though by virtue of the views or the thought process of the communism, it is a perfect terrorism. In Islam, there is no harmony against the non-Muslims, even the Christian and Judaism. Though Islam is the copy-paste, Quran is the copy-paste of the book of the Jews, that is Torah, and the copy-paste of the Quran, Old Testament of the Bible, of the Christian book. But here in India, the communist, the leader of communist, know that every Muslim is brainwashed, excluding some Muslims which are now becoming non-Muslims or known as the ex-Muslim of India. Every Muslim is brainwashed. This is why they taking assistance from the Muslims to support them in India, not their ideology or Quran, but they are supporting only the violence of the Muslim in India. This is why they supported the Jinnah. And in many contexts, they always criticizing the Sanatan Vaidik culture, which has its value, or that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, means all the world is our house, our family. When this is the proverb that our all world is our family, no question arise any hierarchy of the caste and creed. No question arise any hate between the Brahmins and the non-Brahmins. So this propaganda of the communist is only due to the some stupidity of the Hindu castes, Hindu people, that the Brahman is more pious or holy than others. This is not truth. Truth is that the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Savarte Bhavantu Sukhina, Savarte Bhavantu Naramaya, means every must be healthy, wealthy. So no question arise that the Manu Smriti and other books, if they are against the human values and harmony, peace, they are bundle of bunches of the jokes, and they must be thrown in the dustbin. Whether Ramcharitmanas, Manu Smriti, all book must be thrown in the dustbin. So my question is that why the communist leader of the Naxalite never vandalize any mosque or the church? And why the communist always criticize the Sanatan Vaidik culture, which is superior than other culture? In this context, the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So my dear friend, because communism and the Islamic terrorism are alike, both are hypocrites, both are aristocrats. In communist country, the communism or the communist people cannot bear the non-communist person or the people. Same way, according to Islamic book, the Quran, no Muslim can absorb the non-Muslim. As the non-Muslim, even Christians, Jews and the Hindus are filthy in the language of Quran, and they just like equal to the excreta of the human or the wastage product of the human, or just like urinary stool. But here in India, the communist and the Islam or the Muslims are the same, because they are going on the same path of the stupidity, terrorism, and only to demoralize the Sanatan Hindu Vedic culture. But this cannot be due. This cannot be done now, because everywhere the communism is taking last breath. Even in India, the only one government of the Communist Party is available in Kerala. My appeal to the all Keralite people, please throw out this communism from this India. And my appeal to all the non-Muslims, that please throw out the Islamic Goonism from this world. So this is our duty. We have to think. What is the Christianity? What is the Islam, and what is the communism? All are the great enemy of the Sanatan Vaidik culture, Indian Vedic culture. If any Christian will comment on this video, I will tell him in the next video that the Christianity also a bundle of jokes. And the book, that is the Bible, the first chapter of Genesis is the fraud and fraudulent, and nothing had the scientific revolution, evolution, or the origin of species. So communism and the Islam is more toxic to this society in Indian subcontinent, and Communist Party or the communism always supported the Islamic terrorism in India. Thank you very much. See you.